Hello and welcome to the Chessboard, a business standard podcast where we discuss the world of Indian politics. Today is 16th April and I'm your host Ankur Bhardwaj. We're now in the middle of an intense and rather heated election campaign all over India. Phase 1 of voting took place on 11 April and Phase 2 takes place on Thursday 18th of April. 97 constituencies across 13 seats will go to the polls on that day. This would include all the 39 seats in South Indian state of Tamil Nadu. On Monday, the SC also heard a contempt petition filed by BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi against Congress President Rahul Gandhi. The BJP MP alleged that Rahul Gandhi had made a statement and wrongly attributed it to the SC. This was related to the slogan the Congress party has used in these polls to attack the Prime Minister. To discuss this and more, we have with us Aditi Phadnis, Business Standard's political editor. Welcome to the podcast, Aditi. Aditi, the SC has sought an explanation from the Congress President over a statement that he is alleged to have attributed to the Supreme Court. It involves a political slogan against the Prime Minister. Do you think the BJP has been perturbed by the use of the slogan or by the attribution to the SC?
Well, I think it's both things. I don't think you can twist a Supreme Court order and turn it to your political advantage. So the Supreme Court is reacting to that. And BJP has its share of lawyers who feel that the judiciary cannot be taken for granted, that it cannot be manipulated, its orders cannot be misrepresented. So it has gone to the court and the court has asked for an explanation from Congress President Rahul Gandhi. I'm pretty sure that the Congress has some very, very senior lawyers. So no doubt Rahul Gandhi will come up with some kind of an explanation for the use of this slogan.
If we compare 2019 elections to previous occasions, then this has been a rather slogan-free election. There haven't been any popular electoral slogans that parties generally tend to use in elections. Do you think this slogan has hurt the BJP otherwise?
No, I think it's not a slogan-less election. Certainly the slogan, Modi Sarkar Ek Baar Phir, that slogan has caught the imagination of the people. There are people who are discussing this, who are, it's a potent slogan because it straight away compares what Modi government did in its first tenure with what Modi government is going to do in its second tenure.
On Monday, the Supreme Court also agreed to consider the ambit of powers of the Election Commission of India to take action against political parties who drag religion and caste in political campaigns. The SC asked the EC if it was aware of its powers. It went ahead and even asked the Election Commission if it was toothless. Various leaders have indulged in name-calling or have made criminal appeals in these elections. These include leaders like UP CM Aditi and former Chief Minister Mayawati. After getting this strap on the knuckles from the Supreme Court, the Election Commission acted and barred Aditi from campaigning for 72 hours and Mayawati for 48 hours. Has this been a more abusive campaign than earlier?
Some parts of the campaign have been frankly dismayingly abusive. And you don't expect Azam Khan and others to say the kind of things that they have been saying. Oddly enough, the Election Commission hasn't yet taken action against Azam Khan, whose remarks were truly below standard. But I think the action against Mayawati and against Yogi Adityanath is largely indicative action, which is that if others do this kind of thing, the EC will stop them from campaigning. So I think it's salutary and we have to see who else the EC acts against. There was a time when the Election Commission of India was viewed with trepidation because no one really knew how it would act. That was the period when T.N. Seshan was the Chief Election Commissioner. After that, when in between there was another period when the Election Commission began asking questions of political parties, their conduct in elections and so on. That was the Chief Election Commissioner previous to this one. This time around, the EC has been slightly lax about the treatment given out to, or the rap on the knuckles given to various people, including Yogi Adityanath, who referred to the Indian Army as Modi Ji ki Sena, something which did not go down well at all with the army as well as other defense forces. Because as we all know, the Indian Army, the Indian Defence Forces are totally apolitical and are resent very strongly any suggestion that their existence can be used to boost one or other political party's chances. So there have been cases where the Election Commission has acted, but there have been many cases where it has not acted, and this is a matter of regret because it kind of represents a slide from what the Election Commission used to be. I remember the time when Pranab Mukherjee's membership of the Rajya Sabha was cancelled because the Election Commission took the view very much by the book that you could not be elected from the same state where you were a resident. This was observed more in its breach than in its observance, but Mr. Session made this very, very stringent, and Mr. Pranab Mukherjee then had to quit.
Does it also signify a tighter battle in the elections?
Definitely it does. I am just back from UP, and there the opposition forces are very, very strongly geared. Not just the forces of opposition, but also their base on the ground is very strongly geared to one purpose only, and that is to defeat the BJP.
Aditi, the second phase is coming up, and Tamil Nadu will see all of its 39 seats going to polls. This is the first election in Tamil Nadu in a really long time when two of its major political pillars in Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi will be absent. This new phase of Tamil politics, how different do you think it will be from the past?
It will be the same and it will be different. Let me explain why. As far as I can tell, the ADMK, after Jayalalitha's demise, the ADMK split into three heads. One was headed by O. Paneerselvam, who was considered one of Jayalalitha's right-hand men. Another one was headed by E. Paniswamy, who was also considered a strong man among Jayalalitha's lieutenants. And the third was Mr. TTV Dinakaran, who is the nephew of Shashikala, who floated his own party. Now these three kind of split into three separate groups, and TTV Dinakaran announced his separate party. The result was that the EPS and OPS ADMK groups did come together, but it was too late, and some of the MLAs in the assembly were disqualified because they sided with one or other group. As a result, the 21 seats in the assembly were declared vacant, and by-elections were announced along with the Lok Sabha elections. Most of these elections will take place along with the parliamentary elections on 18th April. Some others, 4, will be held immediately after that, but all the seats will be counted together, and all 21 results will be declared on 23rd May along with the other results. Now for the ADMK, this is a massive challenge because it has to, in order to retain its control over the state government, it must win these elections. In terms of numbers, it needs to win only 4, but in terms of its credibility, it needs to win all. And this is a very tough challenge. So quite naturally, and not really, it's not difficult to understand why, the ADMK is almost solely concentrating on the assembly election because that is its source of survival. That leaves the field almost free for the others, basically the DMK, the Congress and other parties. And naturally, in the absence of huge, big, titans like Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi, whether in terms of oratory, whether in terms of standing, it does sort of pose some sort of a challenge. The DMK cadre is much more unified and much more sort of geared towards making Stalin the new heir, the heir of Karunanidhi win. But for the ADMK, this is absolutely a fight for survival, and it's very essential that they do a good showing in the assembly election.
In 2014, the DMK drew blank in the Lok Sabha elections. AIA DMK won 37 seats, the BJP won 1, and PMK won a seat as well. Can the DMK hope for a reversal of fortunes this time?
I'm pretty sure that you will see a reversal of fortunes, and I'm pretty sure that there will be a strong swing in favor of the DMK this time.
National parties like the Congress or the BJP, especially the Congress, had been reduced to being marginal pairs in Tamil Nadu politics decades ago. Even the remaining power of the Congress party was reduced to almost nothing in the 90s. Do you think the national parties can hope to make some sort of a mark in Tamil Nadu politics now, the BJP and the Congress?
I'm afraid on their own it seems very difficult. Piggybacking on other parties, possibly yes, but even then, the Congress has a better chance of making a comeback because it still has some elements of its old organization rather than the BJP, which basically has very little or next to nil political capital in Tamil Nadu.
Thank you so much, Aditi, for joining us. So that was this week's episode of the Chessboard. Hope you enjoyed this discussion. Join us again next week for another episode, and do go out and vote.